This is going to be a very different kind of video for this channel, but I think it's one that's going to be quite interesting for a few people. I've been asked about this aspect of the channel more than anything else, and it's something that clearly is not very well discussed within the YouTube scene: monetization. I know for a lot of channels, the monetization aspect is something that should never be discussed, and I get that. Money can be a personal topic, and it also makes things somewhat weird. The flip side to that is that a lot of people who set up YouTube channels have no idea what to expect, and there seems to be a misconception about what numbers are actually realistic. In particular with gaming channels, where the information is not readily available because a lot of gaming channels simply don't want to talk about it. I encountered this myself because before I created this channel, there really wasn't that much information readily available about what a small gaming YouTube channel could realistically be expecting to make. Let alone a channel like mine, which mainly focuses on 1990s first-person shooters and retro games in general, a niche within a niche. Plus, I've always said that if I ever did get monetized on YouTube, I would pass the knowledge forward to maybe inspire others, or at the very least inform people about what the actual situation is. I think knowledge is king, and lifting the veil on this isn't a big deal to me, because every channel that is monetized is probably earning similar amounts, and I'm not saying anything that isn't fact. So let's dive in. I was fully monetized on the 17th of November 2023. It's been almost a year since I got monetized, and thus almost a year of earning money through YouTube. I can tell you that in the first year of earning money on YouTube, I have earned £970.67. Whether you view this as a lot or not is relative to you. For me personally, I focus on passion topics and things that interest me. Money doesn't drive my decision making because I feel that if I make good content, people will watch it eventually anyway. If I break down the source of that revenue, you can see that most of it comes from the ads that run on my videos, with YouTube Premium and channel memberships coming in a close second and third. I really don't focus that much on shorts on this channel, and that's kind of reflected in the fact that I've barely earned a penny from them. The problem with shorts is that you need to go super viral to see any kind of major return, and I just don't view them as worth the effort. Great for the exposure, but not so great for everything else. To dive deeper into the analytics of monetization, we need to go into the advanced section. There's a metric called RPM, or revenue per milli, basically how much a creator earns per 1,000 views on YouTube. Every channel's earnings is dictated by this, and it's decided by whatever niche you're operating in. Advertisers pay more for certain niches, and that's why financial advice channels and education videos do much better in this sense than other categories. It's also worth noting that YouTube takes a big slice of advertisers' money before you even see it. Whatever advertisers are paying to get their ads onto your videos, creators only see a portion of that. My RPM is £1.81 per milli, which isn't terrible, but it's also expected. Gaming is not a super sexy advertiser category, and as mentioned earlier, this channel is kind of a niche within a niche, so it's not really a shocker at all. So now you're probably asking yourself, what is it that I actually do with that revenue? Well, most of it's actually gone back into the channel. I'm reinvesting so I can do cool videos in the future. For example, I bought a GameCube with a Game Boy Advance player. This has allowed me to make videos about GBA Doom and all the things around that on actual hardware. I have several videos in the works that will actually be making use of that and showing off some of the cool features around GBA Doom. I've also been investing in various other hardware for future video projects, including link cables for the PS1. I've also had to buy a second PS1 console to obviously make use of that, because at some point I do want to do a link play video using Doom and Final Doom on the consoles. I think a lot of people think that YouTube is simply a case of making a handful of viral videos, sitting back and then watching the cash roll in. Personally speaking, I don't think that that's a realistic approach to YouTube anymore. It might have been back in the day when YouTube was less crowded, but the reality is that being seen on YouTube these days is very much a case of creating a community and creating content that makes people want to come back and see your videos. The notion that you can just drop a video and get 1 million views and make monetization happen just like that is very much an outlier. I've seen lots of friends start their own YouTube channels, get frustrated with the fact that it didn't happen overnight, and then immediately abandon those channels. And that's ignoring the fact that YouTube's algorithm can be brutal. There were plenty of great channels I see when I'm browsing YouTube on my own that are making amazing content but then get absolutely no views. The YouTube algorithm isn't particularly nice to small channels. and building your channel from nothing can be a thankless process. When I started my channel, I wanted to do something a bit different, so I did the no-hit run of Ultimate Doom. That allowed me to focus what my channel was going to be, but I can tell you that in those early days, I barely got anyone watching my videos. In time, I expanded my content to include the no-hit run of GoldenEye, the Pokemon Run videos, the NES reviews, and other passion projects that just made me keep wanting to make videos here. YouTube is hard, and anyone who says it isn't is just showing their ignorance. You have to motivate yourself to come up with a video idea, write a script, get the footage, edit that footage together, do the voiceover, render the video, upload the video, and then you have to open yourself to critique from people you'll never meet on something that you spent hours making. And trust me, some of those comments are brutal to hear. And then you've got to do it all again and again if you want your channel to actually grow. Unless that initial video breaks millions and YouTube thinks it's worth something, it's probably going to be forgotten by the algorithm within a week, which means you've got to be making new content constantly. The reason I'm saying all this is because I've been there. Every person creating content on this website has been in that situation. Some people come into making videos on YouTube thinking it's going to be super easy, and then get frustrated when the reality smacks them in the face. The monetization is a nice carrot to keep you on the treadmill, but unless you have an established fanbase, it's going to be a long slog to get to that point. It took me 8 months to get to monetization from when I posted my first video. Some people get there quicker, others less time. If I could give one piece of advice to people sat wondering if they should even bother making a YouTube channel, much like I was 2 years ago, I would say that you've got to be realistic about what you're bringing to the table. It's not going to happen overnight, and unless you have a passion for what you're making, it's going to be hard to keep driving yourself to get to the point where you might get anywhere near monetization. We live in an age where people are looking for quick answers and easy fixes. At the end of the day, you've got to want to do this, and you've got to have a passion to keep you driven during the slow times. Expecting otherwise is only going to end in disappointment for you. I've made mistakes. I've uploaded videos with the wrong audio tracks. I've put videos up with the wrong titles. Mistakes are part of the process, and no one person is flawless out the gate. YouTube is one of the funnest things I've ever done, and I wouldn't change the journey I've been on. For me, I've just got so many video ideas for the future, and if I didn't make a penny off those, I'd still be making those videos because this is a passion for me. I just hope that this video has informed the people that want to be informed about what the realities are for small YouTubers in 2024. I also hope that it's served as something of a reality check for people who may be expecting Scrooge McDuck levels of money to be thrown at them the second they start making YouTube videos. Because the honest truth is, that ain't the case, and unless you are super lucky or you know the right people, it's going to be a long trek. But it's a fun trek, and it's one that I very much would recommend other people take themselves.